I snapped in the middle of my set and just was like, not in the middle at the beginning because it was and then one person and then me and like I'm not kidding, like 10 people left in that amount of time and there was only probably 40 left. So dude, I mean, I got on stage and I was like,
did you rip her?
Yeah. And they were.
Who gives a fuck if she was in the room?
Dude, the back of the room was howling.
Of course,
which was
that's
fun.
so
Yeah.
funny.
It was cathartic because you know this. I was telling I was telling Lily this, because she watched the whole thing. She actually planted it in my head to say something about it.
Good,
but in Florida, very often the shows would be so bad. I would just melt down on stage.
yeah. One time he told a comic he was going to drag him outside and beat the fuck.
No, I told him I was going to drag him on stage and beat the fuck out of him because he kept chirping during people's sets.
And he is so bad at comedy.
And he's awful. And then
he was so bad at comedy we named a podcast after.
Yeah. and then I was like, if you talk during my fucking set, I'm for real. Like, this was off stage. I was like, I'm for real. I'm going to fuck you up. And then I'm a minute in, and he says something from the back, and I just snapped. But I feel like there's a time where it does feel healthy to snap on stage. But in Florida, it happened so much that it just became like a crutch for me almost.
Yeah.
Where it was like, well, if it's bad, I can just snap. And sometimes it would work. Yeah. And then sometimes it wouldn't. And either way, I got something out. But it's been so long because like we were talking about before we started recording, I'm so spoiled here.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since a crowd was bad enough or like the situation called for it. The crowd wasn't bad. Because I went on stage, I was joking about people leaving, and then I snapped about like I was like just like jokingly being like, and I've been here fucking 4 hours, blah 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 blah, and then you let this person come up on stage and fucking bomb for 10 minutes and walk half the crowd that's already a fourth of the crowd, and it was making the crowd laugh, but dude, like the comics in the back were dying. And then luckily I got to do my material and it worked because I won them over, which was very nice. But the feeling of snapping for the first time in so long felt great. Yeah. I forgot how good it felt.
Well, it is funny to talk about such unrelatable content.
It was crazy.
And then leave and be like, yeah, I don't know what's going on. Like I can't figure out this new stuff.
I can't figure out the thing about how my model boyfriend is so hot. I don't know why it's not working.
Dude, there's another new thing that I don't like that's happening in comedy, okay? And it's the hot girl being weird. And it's like the hot girl trying to do what Tim Robinson does. Yeah. Where it's like, like, I'm gonna. There's this girl that I know from New York who's like hot, and then her content is like, when you go on a date and it's like I ordered hair soup and you can't, have hair soup, and it's like talking videos, and you go, what are you doing? Like, this isn't. It's weird, not. Alty. You're not being. It's just because like the altiness of it is like you're so hot that when you talk about that, it's supposed to be funny, but it's like you're just being weird. And if you weren't hot, you wouldn't get these views.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like if a normal looking person was just like, I went to the store and they tried to buy and I tried to pay in fingernail clippings, and then they would go, if I made that video and posted it, everybody would be like, Josh needs to get back on his antipsychotics.
The difference between a weirdo and someone who's quirky is that a weirdo is not attractive.
Yeah.
That's literally it. Yeah. If you don't have to be like a smoke show, but if you're attractive and you're weird, you're quirky. Oh, they're so goofy and quirky. They're so weird. But if you're that level of weird and you're ugly, people go, they're fucking weird.
Yeah, dude.
That's all it is.
If I were to try to make, I watched a video from this girl that I'd follow, again, hot girl, New York, make a video talking about how she tried to pay for something at Target with fingernail clippings. And it's like,
that also just
I don't even get the bit. I didn't even get the bit. 40,000 views, and it's like, that's just because you're hot.
Yeah.
Whatever. It just drives me fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, some of us are putting out gold.
Some of us are over here putting out our best shit.
Some of us are working for months for one clip, and it gets 10,000 views, and you go, I'm going to quit this fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, she's like, oh, you guys don't get fingernail clipping at this Walmart. Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, relatability. Yeah. You couldn't be more unrelatable than going, my boyfriend is a model, and it's hard because of this. You go, nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah. Well, it was just like,
oh, is it hard? Is it hard to get fucked by Brad Pitt?
Yeah, exactly. It was just like, the whole joke was how like he complains about stuff, and it's hard for her to relate to him, and it's like, you're also really hot,
and making it. You're even introducing another element to the whole thing, which is you're trying to be like, and I can't even relate to him.
Yeah, it's like, yes, you can. Of course you can.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Good to be back in fucking Texas.
Good to be back in Texas. Good to be
in fucking Nashville for a week.
Good to be ranting about women comics that are hot. It's good to be here.
I support hot female comics. It's like, if you're gonna be a female comic, at least be nice to look at.
That's crazy. Hey, that take was brought to you guys by Matt Ross at Matt Ross Comic on Instagram.
No, stop it. I was obviously doing satire.
We'll cut that.
Yeah, the ugly ones are funny too.
Yeah, the ugly ones are funnier. Yeah. The ugly ones are actually relatable.
Yeah, dude.
I want to hear talk about dumps. Anyways,
this was so funny. We'll
start right here.
This is so like how Tennessee is so the South. I was talking to somebody who works at the club at Zany's, and yeah, I was thinking, like, is this okay to say? It's totally fine to say. And I was asking how many seats the small room has. And I was like, what's capacity in here? And like, dead face, they went, depends how fat the crowd is. It's like, maybe you guys should stop eating biscuits and barbecue if it mattered. But they were like, no, seriously, we had somebody who does like a live podcast, and they're like a fat redneck, and a lot of their fans were fat rednecks, so they sold out. We couldn't fit more people in here, but there were 60 people, and tonight there's 100 in here. Like, I was like, that's crazy. That's a cheat code, though. If you get fat enough fans, you can sell out.
You get that sellout bonus.
You get the sellout bonus because you go through and you guys, we're turning people away.
We're turning people away.
So you owe me an extra.
You owe me an extra $5,000. We're turning people away.
Exactly. There's only 2 people at the Four Tops, but they're kind of already. Those are basically 4 people. They're eating for 4.
They're eating for
sure.
4. Yeah, yeah.
The
PPA is going to be insane.
It's great. So yeah. But it's yeah.
Did anything fun happen?
Honestly, dude, I wish I had better stories. Well, I already sent you voice memos about my show and my experience after. About like I did my show on a Tuesday, which I was like super happy with because like tickets sold well, which is all I wanted. But then like the set was chaotic, and like I didn't really get to do like my set, and like I kind of got in my head about stuff. But overall, it was fun. And then, but immediately, I know it was fun now, having looked back at the footage and listened and just absorbed it more. And doing a couple more sets in that room and getting a feel of like what a good crowd in there is like. But because it was so chaotic, I felt bad about it. And then there was another show going on in the big room, and like the 2 guys that were also on the show with me were like, hey, we're going to run next door or whatever. I was like, cool. I was like breaking my camera down and just like chilling and like decompressing and like venting to the manager about how I felt my set was. And then when I went back over to the big room, the show was over and they were gone. And then everybody was basically gone. And then I had to get my backpack and everything. And then I just had to, like, not feeling very good, just go eat food by myself.
Where'd you get?
I got a burger.
From where?
This place called Dino's, which is fire. It was great.
It's an actual restaurant?
It's like a dive bar that does like burgers and grilled cheese. I had a burger,
not as sad, then.
I had fries, and I had a Frito chili pie.
Yeah. I'll tell you what.
All by myself.
I was going to say that's a lot for by yourself.
It is.
I will say.
It is a lot.
I think a sadder thing is that is a sad moment of like, fuck, this wasn't exactly what I wanted. And now I'm eating by myself. But at least it wasn't at like a Ruby Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Like there's something about like that type of chain.
It would be funny to have to like walk in and be like, yeah, just me. Like a hostess seats you, and it's like a Ruby Tuesdays menu, so it's like this big. I just have to sit there and be like, yeah, I'll do the Red Rocket burger if you don't mind. Yeah, that's great. I'm just gonna
be on my phone the whole time too.
Yeah, exactly. Just like my AirPods. I don't even have my AirPods with me, so I'm watching TikToks on full volume.
Full volume.
Just eating a fucking burger. Yeah, it's sad. It was sad, but all in all, if you came to Nashville, thank you for coming. It was also this is the crossover is crazy, by the way, of the Some of This Is Bad, the universe they've created and our weird place in it. Because we've both been on the podcast where, like a couple episodes ago when we recorded at the house and we had our shorts on, somebody took a screenshot of it and put it in, they have a Discord.
Yeah.
So this guy comes up after the show and he was like, being really nice and whatever. And, he was like, I saw you on Some of This Is Bad, but, I've been a fan since. I was like, that's super cool. Thank you for coming. Then he was like, can I get a picture? And I was like, yeah, come and whatever. And he was like, no, just of you. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, I just want to post a picture of you in the Discord. So I posed for a picture by myself. After a show. I've never had this happen.
Did you go like this?
I initially went like this, and then I was like, I'll do Dillon's like pop thing. So there's just a picture of me. Dillon showed it to me last night. By myself. Like an absolute psycho, just like this.
Did you stick your tongue out to the side?
No, I just did.
He
like
went up
this.
in the mouth. He went up with the mouth because he looked at. He went.
I looked.
This is. If you want to know when Matt's trying to be hot on Instagram, his tongue goes to the roof of the mouth.
I'm not being hot on Instagram anymore. My 2025 resolution was I'm not being hot on Instagram anymore.
Every time.
I can't.
Every time I would see Matt would be like, and I would go, he's trying to sell some tickets.
Not doing it anymore. I'm not being hot on Instagram. Not this year. I'm only being relatable this year. The year of relatability, 2025. No more tongue in the roof of my mouth.
No more tongue. No more. Yadded up photos.
No more shirt. Well, no.
I gotta come into. I can do shirtless photos at Barton.
I realized, I saw another comic that we both know who's a, relatively attractive guy, post some like show dates and stuff, and he posted what I would consider to be in the realm of a thirst trap photo, a collage of photos, but he was doing it in a funny way.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is that he's hitting the demographic properly. He's going, remember, you follow me because I'm funny and attractive.
Yes.
So here's me being funny and attractive. And I was like taking notes. I was like, this is perfect. Yeah. No, didn't have to take his shirt off. That's a good start.
Yeah, but we want to fucking sell some tickets.
Yeah, we need to move.
We need to move some tickets, boys. We're getting fucking. You know what you should do is get a little face tattoo.
No,
bad boy. Throat tattoo, bad boy.
There's a reality that exists where if I didn't do comedy and I got into tattoos, I could have them in a crate. My gran is like, just don't get any on your neck.
Yeah.
And she's still around. So as long as she's still around, no neck tats, unfortunately. Yeah. I don't want to be that though.
No.
The more that people go, why don't you have any on your arms? I go, because of this. I don't want it. The more I go, I don't want them.
I agree. I think that
it's a fun surprise.
I also think that a neck tattoo is so sick.
Dude, anytime I see somebody with a neck tattoo, I'm like, you're the coolest fucking person.
Even if, dude, my buddy has like wings on his neck. And he's so hot.
Yeah. And he's so hot. He's so hot.
Shout out to Alex Bales. He was the hottest kid in my grade. You want to know something funny? He used to do this thing, and I remember in high school it was a thing. I don't know if you remember trying to get alcohol in high school, but it was always a fucking nightmare. When you're like 16, we had no friends that were like 21, so we would like have to like sit outside of liquor stores and ask people like, hey, do you want to da-da-da-da-da? He, as a 16-year-old, would flirt with like 37-year-old moms, single moms, picking up, and he would just always get us alcohol just by being hot.
He was the man. He would just rizz up full-grown adults.
Fully adult, and be like, you want to get me a bottle of Burnett's, babe? Yeah. We're trying to spend $7 on alcohol, and it's going to taste like dog shit.
Yeah, dude, Burnett's was rough. I used to drink a lot of Burnett's.
He also got 2 DUIs by the time he was like 17.
That's awesome. Yeah. He's like, with great power comes great responsibility.
With great riz comes great $10,000 fines.
Great power comes great driving responsibly. Well, it's funny because we had like we had a gas station. We called it Shammies because it used to be a Shamrock station and then it changed, but it was like these like sketchy ass Asian dudes that would sell like all the tobacco products and like beer to us. And basically looking back on it, they would just sell us like their expired like beer basically. Yeah. But we don't care. We're paying $20 for a 30-pack of Keystone. But the fact that we could just go through the drive-thru and get it is crazy. But we've also had to do the thing where you linger outside, whatever. As an adult now, I can't imagine what type of person would have, because like I'll see a group of people. It happened during my show. The group of people where I was like, "How fucking old? What are you guys like 16?" And they were 23.
Yeah.
So imagine how young a 16-year-old actually looks, and then imagine them being like, "Will you buy me alcohol?"
Yeah.
Like, what kind of person goes, "Yeah, for sure"? You know, like I don't.
I remember one time we gave a guy like. We gave him like $40. We're like, we'll give you 20, and then he just took the money, walked in, and then just left.
Yeah, of course.
And then you go, yeah, we can't do anything about that.
You take the lick. Yeah. You go, I don't know what I could possibly do to get that money back.
Yeah, and then it's also funny getting my buddy got a fake ID when we were like 15.
Yeah,
and he looked like a fucking 15-year-old with a fake ID.
Yeah,
like it was like, you can't use this.
I had a bunch of friends. There was a guy at another school who would get fake IDs, and it was like
everybody had that guy who like kind of knew Photoshop.
Yeah. I don't know what he did or how he got it. But then like, dude, like even like my brother got one when he was in high school and my parents knew about it. He had it shipped to our house. And I was like, this is crazy. Because like when I was in high school, it was always a secret that I was drinking. And I got caught multiple times doing all sorts of shit. I failed a drug test in high school. Like my parents like knew that I did stuff, but it always had to be a secret. It was always, I'm going to the movies. I'm staying at Miles's house. I'm doing that in like whatever. But like my brother,
just free reign.
It was just free reign.
Yeah. I'm the recipient of I'm the opposite side of that, which was my brother got in so much trouble
that your parents were extra
they were like no, they were the opposite in the sense of my brother got in so much trouble that they were like, as long as he's not like selling coke.
Yeah, well, see, that's exactly.
And then I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll just drink at Tyler's house every night.
Rather than my brother having to like pay for the sins of me who came before him, it was the opposite. It was the bar was set so low for how he had to behave if he was going to get fucked up that it was kind of like, just don't do heroin like your brother.
Yeah.
It's like pretty easy.
My mom used to like my parents used to like my mom used to like pick me up from places, and she hated doing it, but she would always do. I would call her on like a Friday at like 1 a.m. and be like, I fucked up. And then she'd be like, what? And I'd be like, I'm in Eastbrook right now. I'm 30. That's like 10 minutes away. And I was like, I'm in Eastbrook. I don't want to walk home and take an hour and a half. I'm fucking hammered. And she'd be like, your dad's going to come and get you.
Yeah. See, that's nice.
And then it was nice.
And then would you get like grounded or anything?
No.
Damn. That's nice.
My dad would make me throw up though.
He would, what?
He would go, his rule was.
Come here, you know what the rule is.
Yeah. He literally was like,
got you by your fucking
have to
throat.
He was like, you have to sober up. Dude,
oh, that's so
holy
crazy.
Shit. Okay, so my cousin, my cousin, I have a cousin who's, you've met Ian. My cousin Ian, who's my cousin, my cousin's 3 years younger than me. When I was a senior, he was a freshman. I took him to a senior party that was like a block away. It was like my friend who lived next to him was throwing a little thing, so I had him come with. His first time ever drinking. I think he's 14. And we were like doing the thing that you shouldn't do to a kid who's never drank. We're like force feeding him alcohol, doing drinking games, making him take shot after shot, whatever.
Yeah.
And I go, and I was dating this girl. I went to go to her house for a little bit. We were gonna like hook up quick, and then I get a call on my way there, being like, "Yo, Ian's like fucked up."
Yeah.
And they're like, "You need to come and get him. I think he has alcohol poisoning." And so I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
You know, time to fucking rally the troops. So I get back. I take one for the team. Just get my dick sucked. And I take one, get my dick sucked. And then I go to pick him up to go. And I get there. And it's like my boy. All of my boys are like making fun of it. Like we're at this fire and my cousin's just like on the ground low crawling by the fire, like just being hammered. Yeah, literally like people like giving him shots and he's still taking them, like throwing them. And I'm like, well, this is crazy. And I'm like, how many drinks has he had? And my buddy Bales is like, no, I think he might actually have alcohol poisoning. And then I was like, we need to make him throw up. That was like the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, this is crazy.
As you were trained by your father.
As my father, yeah. My father made me throw up. His father made him throw up. And so
I know what the Francis do.
Yeah. And so I was like, I have to save him. So I make him throw up, and I'm trying to put my finger. I tried to put my finger in his. Yeah, I tried to pull a trig on him, and he's not. I mean, my whole hand is in his mouth. And he's not gagging at all. And I'm like, well, this is crazy.
What a crazy way to find out your
cousin's gay. So listen, it gets crazy though.
Ooh,
so then I don't know what I'm thinking. I go, give me a spoon. And so I'm like, I need to get further into his throat. So they get me a spoon and I'm putting it down his throat and I dropped it. And then he threw up. He finally threw up, but the fucking spoon got lodged in his throat. So I had to like,
God,
as he's
killed
dude, I know, as he's like throwing up, it was a thing where it was like parting the seas, and then I had to, and then he was just so fucked up. He was like, oh, and then I had to reach into a throw up mouth and pull a spoon out, and then I just had to take him. Fun fact: took him to the hospital. He did have alcohol poisoning. They put him in. They did the charcoal thing, you know, and they make you do charcoal, and they pumped his stomach and then whatever. And then the next day, and then I went to his parents. I took him to the ER, and I drove there, and I took him to the ER. And then the next day was Mother's Day. And then we were all supposed to meet at my grandma's house for Mother's Day. And I got there, and my cousin was still in the hospital. And like,
did anybody know?
Yeah, everybody knew. His mom was so mad. Everybody was so mad at me.
Of course they were.
Yeah, I was like the irresponsible figure, and it's like I'm also just 17, trying to. Sorry for trying to get my cousin laid, and then it turns out I'm trying to have my cousin have fun at a party, and then he just turned into like everybody kind of hazing him with alcohol, like, oh, you want to fucking come to the senior party, freshman, which is so funny to be like, you get a freshman, you get that.
We're gonna give you alcohol poisoning, pussy.
Yeah, we're gonna kill you.
That's so
but
crazy,
my dad's
dude.
The whole full circle about the thing about my dad always said his punishment was basically like, you're not gonna be this fucked up when you get to your mother. He was always like,
so
you're
would
not
like pull over on the side of the road.
He would be
and
like,
make you throw up?
yeah. He would be like, when you get home, your mom can't see you like this. You have to. So he would always like, we'd get food, and then I would have to throw up.
Holy shit!
I wouldn't have to throw up.
But he
would be like,
it.
yeah, he would be like, you can't be this drunk when you get home.
You don't have to throw up, but I would be disappointed if you didn't.
Funny.
I'm not mad at you.
Actually, no, he did make me throw up twice.
That's so wild. Yeah, I always didn't want to call. The only time I would call my parents is if we were at a party and the cops busted it and we got caught.
So funny.
Which one time happened, and I remember I was with my buddy Miles and Albert. So Miles is half black. Albert's just a white guy. And we were...
You're telling me Albert is a white guy?
Hey, well, wait. One of the most famous black...
Einstein?
No. Fat Albert is black. It's like a entire black TV show. Anyways.
You know that's not his full name.
Fat Albert's not his full name? What is it?
The Fat Albert.
Duh, Fat Albert. Fat Albert, duh, comedian. But we were at this party, and it's like, usually you kind of hear when the cops are coming.
This has been a crazy episode.
I know, whatever.
Just
this is what happens when you record at like 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah, dude, this is the first time I've had an alarm wake me up in years.
I hated it.
It's so unrelatable.
Yeah, having to wake up to an alarm and be like, oh, I have to podcast.
Yeah, having to wake up at an alarm at 8:50, and I'm like, God.
I fucking hate it.
Sorry, you had to be picked up by...
Well, because normally, like, people will hear if the cops are coming, or they knock and you try to bust out of the back. Like, we ran from cops constantly.
Yeah.
You know, and it was fun. Honestly, I miss it a lot because it's not, the repercussions aren't great. later in life, when the cops were around, it was like I could possibly be arrested for a felony right now. But this time, it was always a fun thing to like run, and so many people are running. Your odds are great. It's like
yeah, dude. It's like a cockroach.
It's like the first round of Squid Games. You know what I mean? It's like I'm probably gonna make it through this round. You know what I mean? But this one, it was like by the time we knew the cops were there, they were at the front door, they were at the back, they were in there. They were like, everybody has to find a ride home. And I remember my buddy Albert like talking shit to them. Like I remember him just being like. And being like, yeah, you guys like doing this shit, by the way? It's like, and like at the time, I was like, damn, Albert's being a bad boy. Like Albert's
everybody had a reputation, yeah.
That's so cool because he was like, you know, giving them shit for coming and doing their job.
Yeah.
But and at the now looking back, I'm like, of course they don't love this, but obviously they can't let a bunch of 16-year-olds get drunk. There's like 60 people in a neighborhood. It was also crazy, like just the willingness of young kids to be like, my parents are gone, I'm gonna throw a huge party. Nuts. I didn't even know the people who owned the house, and it's like we're right next door. If my neighbors now threw a party, I would call the cops.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm trying to go to sleep,
dude.
You know. So the cops are there, and then I call my gran thinking that she's not going to rat me out. And she didn't that night, but then obviously she was like, we have to tell your mom. I'm like, okay, whatever. So, but my buddy Miles doesn't want to call his parents. And so I remember we're sitting there and he goes, I'm going to tell him I'm your brother. I was like, you're black. They're not, what are you talking about? And he was like, I'm going to tell him that I'm your brother. And then I'm going to go home with your gran and then you. And I was like, okay. I was like, they're not going to believe what the fuck. And then the cop, he goes up to the cop and he goes, like his opening line is, I'm adopted. And they were like, what are you talking about?
The most obvious giveaway.
Yeah, he was like, I'm adopted. And they were like, what? And he was like, yeah, he's my brother and I'm adopted. And so I'm gonna go home with our grandma. And they looked at me, and I don't even remember now, but I was probably just kind of like, yeah.
To lead with the lie is so funny. Literally just get picked up.
Yeah, just get picked up and go, and then whenever they say something,
you go, I'm adopted.
You call them racist.
Yeah. Oh, so I can't be.
So this can't be my grandma. This can't be my family.
Oh, no.
Are you racist?
What are you racist? Yeah.
But then they were basically like, shut the fuck up. Go sit back down. It was the craziest. It was the worst lie I've ever seen tried to be pulled off. And then, like, I wasn't fully in character, so I wasn't ready to be like, this is my black brother, Miles. We adopted him when we were young. You know, like, I wasn't ready for that. And so then he just had to call his mom, who was furious. And then his black mom had to come pick him up. They were like, yeah, not adopted, unfortunately. I'll never forget him trying to pull that card.
He was the last one to get picked up. She's late, and they're like, yeah, you're adopted? Oh, you're adopted. Oh, everybody else's parents showed up on time. The only black guy's parents show up late.
So crazy.
I remember having the same, every group of friends when they were in high school did have like a kid who was like, I'm going to shit talk the cops.
Yeah.
I remember we got same thing, cops surrounded this place, and I remember my buddy, I'm not going to say his name because I actually don't like him at all. He was he was in a bathroom, and he was hiding, and then I don't know, out of nowhere, we're all like, he's in the cabinet of the bathroom hiding, and then they start doing the thing where this is the time, I've told you this story, baby, but the landlord, so it was my friends were renting a place when we were like 19. They were 18, and I was 17. So they were renting a place when they were like 18. The landlord knew that they were throwing underage parties, so then he just gave the cops permission to come in. And so we're all like trying to hide in like a 1-bedroom house, which is very funny because we're all just like behind curtains, like so obviously whatever. And my buddy is in the bathroom, like in a cabinet, in the medicine cabinet, like he tucked himself away in this. I mean, it was a pretty big, decent sized thing, but like I remember watching him go into it, shutting it because we were like all panicking, and then he went. And then he, out of nowhere, we're all talking. We're all like, the cops at this point. He was like, fine, he's hidden. And the cops are like talking to us individually, basically being like, get your parents, whatever. And then I remember hearing the cabinet door, because it was like right next to me, open, and then he opened the door. He would have been fine, I think, probably. Like I don't think they would have been like, let's check the cabinet.
Right. Yeah.
And he came out and he goes, "No, I'm gonna say something." That was like what I heard. I heard him say that out loud.
No,
he was
I'm
talking
gonna
to
say something.
Yeah, I'm gonna say something, talking about the cops. Like he's gonna make it the difference. No, I'm gonna say something to the cops.
Just appearing out of the cabinet.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna say something.
I have something to say.
Yeah.
They're like, this guy's obviously a genius. We
would have never.
Let's hear this kid out.
It's just very. Also, I had a funny. My buddy Blake DeVary tried to one time crawl. Same type of thing. House gets busted. He is in the attic, and there's a like a little like air duct that he tried to climb through, and so he climbs through this air duct, which is into the garage, and everybody's like getting in trouble, and this is people who are actually getting like fines and tickets and like arrested, and my buddy Blake falls through the ceiling onto a cop.
Fucking awesome, dude. So
dude, he
fucking
fell
good.
onto a cop, like the drywall.
And they were like, well, you're arrested.
Yeah, dude. He got arrested. I think he did get arrested.
He just lands and they go, you're under arrest.
Yeah, I think he was like 16, 17 at the time.
That's so crazy.
That was a time, too, where I've told this story 1,000 times on the podcast, I feel like, but I jumped out of a window. I jumped out of a window and outran a cop because I was just home for leave. I was like brand new in the middle.
And then you had to call your mom.
I had to call and I climbed into a tree. Winter in Iowa. I climbed into a tree. I climbed like 50 feet up into the air.
You're like, Mom, I'm 50 clicks south.
Yeah. Stand by for grid coordinates. 1, 2, 3, break.
That's so funny.
And it was also funny too because I outran this cop like by a lot because like it's like a fucking cop and I was just at a boot camp. So I'm like, I've been running 7 miles a day.
From the enemy.
Yeah, and I left, but I also am a dumbass. I didn't even think about this until like later on. Footprints in the snow led me directly to a tree, and then I just climbed up the tree, and I was like,
"There's." Get there, and they go.
Yeah. I was like I'm a raccoon.
So good. Yeah, dude. One
I'm
time
just throwing up on him.
You start pulling trigger, like just like my dad taught.
Yeah. I'm back in the shit.
There's no way I have never told this story, but we've had like 7 podcasts. So
yeah.
I was at a party one time and I was fucked up. I was like I don't really remember how it started, but I remember throwing up off of a balcony onto like 3 like hot seniors.
Oh.
Like onto like their feet and like it got on them and just being like blackout, like pass out drunk. I passed out on like this futon, whatever.
Hot girls or hot boys?
Hot girls.
Okay.
Hot girls. It was hot girls.
Hot boys would have been worse.
Yeah. It honestly would have been.
Yeah.
But I remember like it was just like so embarrassing. I'm like blacked out, just passed out on this futon. And then I remember I go to the bathroom and I think I was throwing up even more. And I came out of the bathroom and I remember, it's one of those things, I don't know if it's a memory that's been created, but I remember coming out and walking into the room and seeing my buddy and going, beer before liquor, never been sicker is so true. And then like coming to and realizing that everybody in the room is looking at me. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I turned around and there's just like 3 police sitting there.
They just arrest you for being gay.
Right.
They were like, that was corny.
And then, they're like, that was lame. You're under arrest.
Yeah, you just bombed in front of all of us.
Yeah, you're under arrest for being a loser in front of hot chicks. And so I remember that. And then I remember my friend going, Fat Ross, did you piss yourself? And to this day, I don't know if I pissed myself or if I went in the bathroom and peed, and because I was so drunk, I got a lot of it on I don't remember. There's a good chance I pissed myself. And then the cops were laughing at me. And then they were like, you call this kid Fat Ross? And they thought it was so funny. And I was like, what the fuck? I remember being like, am I getting bullied by the police right now? Like, are these cops like cool kids, you know? And then they eventually were like, only sober people can drive, people who haven't been drinking, and we will check. But all of you get out of here. So it was like an above garage apartment that we were all in. And we were walking the stairs. So we're all in this like tiny little staircase walking down. From the first step, I trip and just fall like straight down the steps. I'm taking people out. I remember this girl, Katie Hilton, who's like this tiny little girl. I like basically like chop blocked her fucking knees. And like, I took a dozen people out. And then the cops were like, Jesus Christ, Fat Ross.
Fat Ross is
I'm having the most
diabolical.
embarrassing night of my life. And then I get into the car with my friend Cody, who's going to drive. And when I get in, I slam the door on this girl, Olivia Glazner, who's a hot fucking senior, on her hand. Just like, doof, and it like probably broke one of her fingers realistically. Like I remember them being swollen and being like, what the fuck? And then we went to this guy, Matt Milligan's house, who had like the cool dad who was like drank with us and all that. And so everybody.
If you're gonna piss your pants, I'd rather you do it here than
exactly. So we went there, and then when I was there, I don't remember what happened, but I think like one of my friends like smacked a girl's ass or something. And then her boyfriend, who was a scary motherfucker, was like yelling like, who the fuck touched her, blah, blah, blah. And then it came back on us, probably rightfully so. I think he did it. And then we got kicked out of there for like inappropriately touching another girl. It was like, the embarrassment, I don't know if I have ever fully recovered from it.
Dude, that's like
it was awful.
That's like, like a movie, like the worst thing that could happen in a movie.
Off of a balcony onto hot girls.
Yes.
I pissed myself. I got roasted by the police. I fell down a fucking full flight of stairs. And then I slammed a door on a hot girl's hand, and she was not too happy about it. And then we got kicked out for
your friend sexually assaulting
possibly lightly sexually assaulting a minor. We were also minors at the time, but it adds a little drama, to put it that way. It was crazy, dude. And this is why I know, like, I was a kid then, obviously, but I know it's probably better I'm not drinking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's one of those things where I'm like, it's probably good you cut that shit out.
Yeah.
You wake up with a tattoo of Fat Ross on your back.
Fat Ross.
My nicknames were crazy. I don't know if I've ever fully talked about, like, the lore of my nicknames. I had, like, so many nicknames in high school. I had a friend who just created them for, like, Fat Ross, Snack Ross, Dasani Ross, Red Diamond Ross. There were some other ones. Sink Ross was one of them. Oh, I can't forget the best one, Soft Ross. Because one time I got whiskey dick trying to have sex with this girl at like 16, by the way, which is a really funny time.
That's insane to get whiskey dick.
But and then she told my friend, who she was also fucking.
How bad is your circulation when you're 16? You can't get.
How bad is your alcoholism when you're 16, where you can't get drunk and fuck? Like, I was that drunk.
Your blood pressure had to have been through the roof.
I know, dude. It was awful.
To be 16 and not be able to get hard is crazy.
I know, it was crazy. But I just had this friend who, like, at any given point would just give. And they all stuck.
Yeah, they're all bangers.
They were all.
I mean, Fat Ross is. Fat legendary.
Ross is legendary.
That's
honestly.
Like yeah. I mean, that needs to catch on.
There were teachers who would call me Fat Ross.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was
They're
a thing.
Bullying you.
That was a thing.
But it's got to be like the hot, like it's like the hot teacher who's kind of flirting, like lightly flirting. She's like 26.
Yeah,
Fat Ross.
I wish it had been a hot teacher.
Dude,
it was
did
like
you
the
have hot
other
teachers?
dudes. Yeah, Miss Lanier. God bless you.
Shout out Lanier.
God bless you, Amanda Lanier. You made English way harder than it should have been. It was crazy. I'm still friends with her on Facebook.
Yeah, you ever like her photos? Is she married now?
She's been married the entire time.
That's fucking bullshit.
And she's like a Pilates instructor now, so she's only gotten hotter.
We had Miss
like
Malik.
Fine wine, you know. It was crazy.
We had a computers teacher, Miss Malik.
Yeah.
Shout out to her. I friended her on Facebook, and then she got divorced.
Oh.
I tried to pursue. She was like, "This is insane." No.
Yeah, of course. Well, dude,
I was like 24, 23. I was like, I'm like a veteran.
Yeah. Yeah, after serving my country, I thought, why not reconnect with the people who made such a big difference in my life? And you immediately came to mind. So
I literally
just thought I wish you were doing well.
I remember she updated her, which is also a very small town thing. She updated her Facebook status from married to single.
Whoa.
And then I hit it with a heart react. And then I messaged her and was like, I'd love to get a drink sometime. And then she said, Joshua, no thank you.
Oh, That's so fun. The fact that you actually asked her out is crazy. I've liked a couple of miscellaneous pictures, but
I was like, I'm gonna send it.
Might as well, dude.
Yeah.
You never know until you try.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
And you know what's funny? She's like, not even that.
Yeah, of course she's not. Of course
because she said no. If she would have said yes, she was like the hottest teacher in the world.
Yeah.
Depending on how the story gets told.
So funny to Joshua. No.
Yeah, you never want the surname.
Yeah. You know, and the teachers never fuck the students when it's appropriate to do so.
No.
They never do it once you're both adults and life's moved on and they go, you know, you're an adult and I'm an adult and I'm recently divorced. It's always when you're 16 and the teacher is a guy and he's fucking the female students. We had a teacher do that. Yeah, well, it was always, so now that I'm older, he was always like really flirty with the girls. Like everybody knew it, everybody saw it. We all talked about it as kids. Everybody talked about it. He taught history. Of
course.
And there was always, there were.
He's like, you know, back in the 1400s, this is like standard.
Yeah. He's like, a lot of the most powerful men in history actually had sex with young women. The age of consent wasn't even a thing.
Well, he's like, I actually go off by the age of maturity versus
yeah, and you're very mature.
You're very mature for your age. She's 15.
Yeah, dude. There were always rumors that certain things had happened, and as I've gotten older and gotten to know people, they're like, yeah, it 100% happened. Like it like there are people. Last time I was home, I was talking to a girl about it who was a year older than me, and she was like, he still messages me on Facebook. Like he'll just be like, hey, what's up or whatever. But he was like, I remember hearing stories of him like going down to like OU, which was like 30 minutes away. A lot of kids went to college there, and like going to like the frat parties. As like, he was probably realistically like in his early 30s, like around maybe the age or a little older than I am now. But like, yeah, it's fucking crazy. And then he eventually left our school, and I'm not sure if it was like a
mutual decision,
or if
he was forced out.
When sometimes, when people, they are like they leave, but they don't get fired. But it's kind of like, we can't prove anything you're doing, but we think it's best that you don't work here
Bill
anymore.
Clinton.
What do you mean?
Like Bill Clinton left office.
I don't think Bill Clinton left office.
He got impeached, but didn't leave office.
Yeah.
He just, never mind.
A lot of people get impeached. They never actually get impeached.
You know what?
They get impeached. But he left and he immediately got arrested he left and went to another school where they were not fucking around and immediately got arrested for hooking up with like a 15-year-old.
Great.
Yeah, like having her like sneak out of her house and shit to come see him. It was crazy.
I actually just realized, I always thought that Bill Clinton left office early.
No.
Did he not?
Nixon did. Nixon resigned, but he might.
Dude, do I fucking know nothing?
Yeah. I mean, not that I know a lot more, especially when it comes to presidents and history and such. I haven't gotten into that. I'm not in that timeline of like my white adultness just yet.
Yeah, that'll come in like 32, 33, 34.
Yeah, I'm more interested in it than I was previously, but yeah, I don't know. Presidents get impeached pretty often. Not often, but
he got impeached. Monica Lewinsky.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a bit of a sniper.
Classic Josh just sniping.
You guys didn't even see that fucking
his own jokes.
I didn't see that coming.
He's sniping his own setups with punchlines.
I can't.
I'm a bit of a sniper.
I can't stop laughing about this. It's been months. I was in a green room with Jack Timmons, and we were talking about, like, because of the Diddy stuff that's been popping off, it's like the Diddy thing is kind of overshadowing the Epstein thing, but the Epstein thing, there's 1,000 takes on it, but the Epstein thing, it's so, like,
sick.
Stephen Hawking's going to the Epstein Island is the funniest thing that I feel like people kind of made jokes about, but like the whole thing, just him on the plane landing in Epstein's Island, it's got to be hard for him to get around.
Yeah.
And it's just funny to picture him excited in the plane, being like, "Oh boy, I can't fucking wait," and then he just has to be on like a.
They had to put his all-terrain tires on.
Yeah, they had to
so
put it. Yeah, he had to have like a fucking pit crew come and be like, it's like logistically, he was like, "Oh boy,
it is
I
funny.
Can't fucking wait."
It is funny to think that they had to, like, a crew had to set up like a wheelchair ramp to get him off of the plane to go have sex with midgets or whatever.
Yeah, they had to like lay concrete for him to get around. Either that or somebody carried him.
That's dark.
Or they had a wheelbarrow.
Yeah, they had a wheelbarrow to get him into the ring. Take me to the midgets.
Take me.
Because isn't that what they said he was doing?
Yeah, he was making him do math.
I think like as much as I want to believe that, I don't think that could be true.
It also could just be them. It also could just be them bullying him.
Yeah, like
yeah, Steven, why don't you make him go do math or something?
Yeah,
he's like,
exactly.
I don't want to be here.
Yeah. He actually didn't want to be there, and they're like, yeah, he's probably in there having those midgets do math or something. Fucking nerd.
They were just bullying him.
Yeah, and now his like legacy is tarnished forever because he couldn't control where he was going, and they took him to Epstein Island. That's funny.
His battery died, and then they just put him in the. Oh like no, my battery's dying.
Don't take me to the pedophile island, please. Dude,
also, everybody's acting like it's a big deal.
Wait.
That Elon. Finish. Yeah, so Elon wants to do a Roman salute.
Dude. No. Dude, do not make me get liberal at the end of this podcast.
Elon Musk doing a Nazi salute is.
That was not. I can't believe we haven't talked about that yet. It's so crazy.
Everybody's like, yeah, he's just autistic. It's like, for sure.
Yes, that's for sure.
He also did a Nazi salute. You can't justify.
Yeah.
It's almost scarier. He'd be so like efficient.
You know what it is?
Autistic brain trying to commit genocide is scary.
Here's what I think.
Logistically, he'll figure it out.
Listen, so that side of the aisle, a lot of them believe that vaccines cause autism. Maybe this is all a big anti-vax conspiracy where they go, well, we don't want people having autism. Autism will make you Heil Hitler.
It's true.
You can't get vaccines or your kids might Heil Hitler. And you can't have that because you're liberal and you care about it.
Even if you watch the movement of it, he is so like unhuman.
It was
the level of autism. It looks robotic.
He's a reptile. Dude.
He is
he's a fucking
truly like a shapeshifter.
Yeah,
Heiling Hitler.
Even if you've seen his like the way his like torso's shaped. Have you seen the pictures of him without
shirtless?
a shirt on?
Nightmare. It looks like somebody zipped him up in the back.
Yeah, exactly, dude. It looks like a creature inside of a body. It looks like Men in Black, the bug guy. You know how he just over time like decompensates, like he gets weird. That's what his
water.
Body. Yeah, exactly.
Sugar water.
He's like, we're going to Mars.
We're going to Mars.
We're going to Mars.
We're going to Mars with all of my heart.
All my heart.
All my heart. I went low.
You did. You went low and you went vertical.
I went low
and
like this. I extended out.
The amount of people.
Listen, it was a Roman salute. I was doing a Roman salute.
You know what's crazy is what this has done is the amount of people online heiling Hitler to like show, like whether they're making fun of him.
They're like, yeah, here's a photo of Taylor Swift at a concert like this.
Yeah,
and you're like, well,
yeah. It's like, okay. Yeah, people stick their hands out. Yeah. It's just, it's not that you're there. It's how you get there. My heart goes out. Yeah. It's how you get there.
Also, an insane thing to do just in general. My heart goes out to you. It's like, yeah, you are autistic, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's the weirdest thing you could say.
Well, not being able to complete like a really normal like.
Even that is like weird though. Like, what is that expression?
Well, also like
my heart goes out to you.
What I am curious about is
because he won because Trump won the election.
Well, that's the thing is the clip is him going, "I thank you so much for making it happen." It's like the level of like like he can't bottle up how excited. It makes me sketched out. Like obviously you know how I feel about the results already.
He short-circuited.
But like him being like, I can't believe you guys made this happen, and like so excited that he's just like,
He got the zoomies.
He did.
Elon got the zoomies and Heil Hitler.
Crazy, dude. It's crazy that he's so pumped about it.
You know when you ask your dog if they want to go out, and they're like, oh my God, I didn't know I would go out. He literally did that. He was doing the hand thing. Yeah. They're like, don't get Elon riled up.
Elon,
and then you go, you're going to be
Trump's president.
He gets the zoomies and Heil Hitler.
That's so good. That literally is him getting the zoomies.
Dude, yeah.
That's so funny.
Elon's version of...
He's just a German Shepherd. Just... It's so good.
My heart goes out to you.
Yeah.
He starts marching.
Yeah. He's just excited and autistic. So crazy, dude. So crazy. Listen.
Everybody... It is so funny to think that Elon just got the zoomies.
Well, he's gotten the zoomies more than once, too. I mean, the initial zoomies was when he leapt for joy on the stage. When he did the, like a poster.
Yeah. Everybody's acting like it's not his fault, dude. He got the zoomies.
Yeah, man. We all get him. We all get the zoomies every once in a while.
Once in a while, you get the zoomies, you get excited, you go, let's get back to my roots.
Yeah.
Gonna give a Roman. It's also funny to justify it and go, you had to Google. Nobody knew what a Roman salute was. You had to Google what looks like a Nazi salute, but isn't a Nazi salute.
Well, because I don't understand what the Roman salute is.
I think it's just the same thing, but it's like
the way that the swastika is actually like a Buddhist symbol.
Yeah,
it's like they took it from it. It's like, yeah, but that doesn't make it.
Yeah,
like,
it's like there's no original thoughts. You try to make it artistic.
Yeah.
The
thing about it is it's really art.
You never can be original.
Art is really portraying real life.
Yeah.
I can't wait for his next Zoomies outbreak.
I know. He
just says the N-word.
If we just put it in the context of Elon is getting the Zoomies.
Yeah. That is what's happening.
Elon got the Zoomies. At the wrong time.
Yeah. Like, do I think it's crazy he did it? Yes. Do I think his like, I don't think he was on stage and thought, this is the perfect time to hit this.
Well, people are like, people were also saying it's like, what is it, dog whistling? When you like,
so
when you're kind of like.
That is one of the ideas.
Some people are like, maybe he's kind of trying to hint like, hey, Proud Boys, we did what we wanted to do.
Well, that's
also
the
like
conspieci.
That's the conspiracy. I think that it's an insane gesture. That was a crazy thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think in that moment he went, let's Heil Hitler.
Time to Heil Hitler.
I think he went, I got the Zoomies.
Yeah.
I got the Zoomies.
I can tell you this much, man. If we were monetized, this episode would not be. We have said Heil Hitler like 20 times.
He got the Zoomies.
Oh, shit.
And sometimes people's Zoomies are different than others. And I think that he might have had just had the extreme Zoomies, and that's all that it is. You have to get going.
Yeah, I gotta go.
You gotta go to a dentist appointment.
Get my teeth checked out.
What time is your appointment?
11.
Oh shit! Downtown?
No.
Oh wow!
It's 13 minutes from here, so I have to.
You'll be fine.
I have to leave in 1 minute.
You should probably just leave right now.
Yeah. Thank you for watching Friendly Fire Podcast.
Please rate, comment, like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Love you. Bye.
Yeah, I gotta go.
I
got to go.